So we have the honor now of having a very special person come and speak to us. That's you? Yes, my dear. And I timed it so well. So Dov Baum, I had the honor of meeting you online, really, but I think we also have met in movement spaces. Is the director of American Friends Service Committee Action Center for Corporate Accountability. She's a feminist scholar and teacher who has taught about militarism and the global economy from a feminist perspective in Israeli and US universities. She's a co-founder of Who Profits from the Occupation and of the Coalition of Women for Peace in Israel. And I asked her to share a few words with us today about what we can do, how we can, what we can learn, something I'm sure that will enlighten us. Thank you.
Okay. You want me to stand here? Does it matter? If you hold the mic, you can stand wherever you want. Okay. No worries. No. I'm really honored to be here. Thank you so much, Kat, for inviting me. Like many of you, I work in the general world out there. It's easy to forget it's Rosh Hashana. So being invited here was a strong reminder. So as Kat said, my name is Dov, or Dalit. I come from Israel. I know some of you for some years now. I've been active in Israel in the anti-occupation movement for many years. And then I came here about 13 years ago, and I lived in the Bay Area ever since. And I work with the American Friends Service Committee, also trying to bring peace and justice to this very sad world. Sometimes I joke and I say that means I have job security. Rosh Hashanah is the beginning of the days of awe, Yemei Tshuva, the days of Tshuva. In Hebrew, it's called Yamim Noraim, or literally the horrible days. And these are indeed horrible, horrible days. I don't know how you manage all the grief and the fear and reading the news every day. It's overwhelming. There are some ways of doing that, like just disconnecting or not feeling or just channeling it into anger and hatred. We know that where that leads us, yes? And then there is getting really overwhelmed and paralyzed, and I have a lot of that. And then we try to push ourselves into action with others and organizing. And that sometimes brings us into a disconnect from our feelings, because you cannot be out there and organize and work and talk and feel and express yourself and still feel that amount of grief. So it's a very delicate balance of how to feel and act and feel. It's impossible, and it's definitely impossible without a community. So that is partly why I'm so grateful to be here with you today. I'm looking at you, beautiful people, wearing those kafiyas and talits and this beautiful kippah. I mean, I'm just, you know, I come from Israel, where going to a synagogue is actually a very right-wing, exclusionary Jewish supremacy act. So this is healing. And you cannot expect the renewal of Judaism to come from Israel anytime soon. You know that. It has to come from here, from you. We need to rewrite all these books. So, what do I do for a living? To business. I actually work in the work of BDS, boycott, divestment, and sanctions. I'm going right to that. And many people, and also many activists around us, and definitely a lot of Jews around us, associate BDS with a punitive action, with anger that has to come out with punish those responsible. As an Israeli myself, I'm very aware of the fact that I am boycotted from certain spaces. I'm very aware of the fact that people are angry at Israel and, as a result, also at Israelis. But I have to tell you, as someone who has been part of this movement since its inception in 2005, that we don't have to go that way. That the original call coming from the entirety of Palestinian civil society in August 2005 was a call to use non-violent measures such as boycott, divestment, and sanction on Israel until it complies with very basic principles of international law and human rights, such as freedom, justice, and equality. That's the code. Freedom, end of the occupation. Justice, the right of return for all refugees, which is an internationally recognized right. And equality, full equality for all people of the land. So this is a rights-based approach. It doesn't offer a specific political solution because it brings together people who actually do not agree on a political solution. The people who signed on to this call included women's groups and students groups and unions and Muslim groups and communist groups. They don't share the same worldview or the same political agenda. What they do share is a strong dedication to this rights-based approach. This is the minimal requirement. Freedom, justice, and equality. It is a call for action. And a call for action cannot be responded to with endorsement or debate. It can only be responded to by action or inaction. Either you take action or you don't take action. And the action you take is on you. What is the right action for you, for your community, for your situation in the world? And the way I try to explain it to people is, it is not about clean hands. Ashamnu, bagadnu, ratzachnu, kavashnu. We don't have clean hands. I don't have clean hands. I spent 3 years of my life in the Israeli military. I grew up in a highly racist Zionist society. I dare to assume you don't have clean hands either, as part of the machineries around us. This is not about claiming clean hands. This is about tracking our own complicity. Where are we connected to that harm? Where are we connected to that suffering? And where we are connected is where we can take action. This is the map in which we can actually make a difference. And it can be as simple as noticing that you shop in a certain store. We have now a campaign to boycott Chevron. As simple as that. Go online, boycottchevron.info. Info, I don't know, we couldn't get the org or the com URL, so we bought info. There's a lot of information there. Check it out. Don't just boycott Chevron gas stations. Okay, that's easy. Go to another gas station. It's best if you don't buy gas at all. But organize with others to educate them and try and put pressure on the company. We saw students all around the country asking their universities to divest, and we saw the response of universities. It was a resounding no. No. We all need to divest. What does it mean to divest? To divest means to just do no harm. Just step away from the harm that you can step away from. You cannot stop paying taxes to the US war machine? Okay, I respect that. Maybe some of you can. But maybe you don't have to have your pension fund invested in some of the worst corporations on earth, profiting from that same war, from that genocide, from that apartheid. If you want more information, we put together a toolkit. The American Friends Service Committee is afsc.org/divest. As simple as that. You can find a list of companies. You can find what you can do. You can find out what does it mean for an institution to divest. A university. Don't just support the students. Yes, support the students. But look around you. Is there a community foundation that needs to divest? Is it your own employer, your own organization, your own pension fund? Let's make it kind of the norm. It should be obvious that we don't want to be invested in this nonsense. If you have any funds, you should invest them in our own community, in the well-being of people, in the well-being of the planet, and not in harm, oppression, apartheid, anywhere. And my last suggestion for things that you can do is just join this new network of organizations, denominations, congregations, corporations all around the world that is building up a new anti-apartheid movement. So again, another website, I'm sorry, this is all internet for the folks online, apartheid-free.org. We have almost 400 signatories to a pledge, which is a pledge for specifically communities, congregations, organizations, corporations, but not individuals. You have to be with others to sign it. And as my last words, I will just read you the pledge that I want to invite you to sign on to. We affirm our commitment to freedom, justice, and equality for the Palestinian people and all people. We oppose all forms of racism, bigotry, discrimination, and oppression. And we declare ourselves an apartheid-free community. And to that end, we pledge to join others in working to end all support to Israel's apartheid regime, settler colonialism, and military occupation. And this is a beautiful poster. Thank you.
Thank you, Dov. So we are an apartheid-free community. We've signed the pledge. So if you're here, you can at least know that that is who we are. That's who we stand to be.